Amnesty International hailed the release of Mexican indigenous human rights activist Raoul Hernandez, who was imprisoned for over 2 years on a fabricated murder charge. Amnesty's Rupert Knox said, quote, "The prolonged detention and prosecution of Raoul Hernandez is part of a systematic campaign by the Mexican authorities against members of the MFA Indigenous Peoples Organization for standing up in defense of their people's human rights." Amnesty International has been campaigning for Hernandez's release since November of 2008, when he was adopted as a prisoner of conscience. It believes that the case against him was a reprisal by local authorities for his legitimate activities promoting indigenous rights with the MFA Indigenous Peoples Organization, or OPIM. In April of 2008, Hernandez was one of 5 OPIM members wrongfully arrested and charged for a man's murder the previous January in the village of El Camalote in Guerrero. The other 4 were later released after a federal judicial review. The federal review judge ignored eyewitness testimonies, saying that Hernandez was not present. The case was then returned to the state courts, where Hernandez's defense lawyers secured further evidential hearings, one of which confirmed that the prosecution's eyewitnesses had provided unreliable testimony. Rupert Knox said, quote, "The case of Raoul Hernandez illustrates the vulnerability of human rights activists in Mexico. Not only are they victims of unlawful detention and imprisonment on unfounded charges, but they also face harassment, intimidation, threats, and even killings." The southern state of Guerrero is home to about 116,000 MFA indigenous people. It has one of the highest levels of marginalization and some of the lowest indicators of human development in Mexico, according to local human rights organization Tlacnilolan Centro de Derechos Humanos de la Montaña. OPIM was founded in 2002 to defend and promote the rights of the MFA indigenous people. Amnesty International has documented a pattern of harassment and intimidation against members of indigenous rights organizations in that state, such as the OPIM, over a number of years.